YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who theory news discussion video where, we're going to be taking a look once again at the upcoming, it's only about a month away, but the upcoming next episode of Doctor Who, the Centenary special, only recently given a title, which is The Power of the Doctor. And I spoke about my thoughts on this title in my last video, if you want to go over and check out that. But today we're going to be discussing... Sorry, I just had a mini avalanche on my desk. Stay. Today we're going to be discussing something very, very interesting from the latest edition of the Doctor Who magazine. In an exclusive interview with Sacha Darwin, he teased and hinted at this jaw-dropping moment in the Centenary special between himself and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Now, the title is the wildest theory out there, which we will be discussing in a minute, but we'll just jump in. All over the internet, people have been speculating about what this jaw-dropping moment between the Doctor and the Master could be. Some of the preview images we've had from the magazine and from James Pardon, the official Doctor Who photographer person. We've seen the Master being taken away by unit soldiers. Now, we've got two versions of the Master in this episode. We've got shaven and probably younger Master, this one. He also notably does not have the sort of eye bags, is that what you'd call them? He does not look as tired and done with life as the Master did in The Timeless Children. He looks a lot more happy, almost a little more Doctor-like, and almost as if he's good. Then the other version of the Master we've seen is this Rasputin-looking man. And I say Rasputin-looking man, it might well be the Master being Rasputin. I mean, Sacha did talk about in this exclusive interview as well, the fact that he asked Chris Chibnall specifically to give him disguises, because he's the Master of Disguise and all of that jazz. So maybe the Master is disguised as Rasputin, or something like that. It's going to be very timey-wimey. It's Doctor Who, they play about with time all the time. But we'll dive into one of the big articles written about this thing from cultbox.co.uk. They write, Doctor Who, the power of the Doctor, jaw-dropping moment teased. This is the quote from Sacha. He says, there's one pivotal jaw-dropping moment in the episode. No spoilers, but you'll know it when you see it. That Sacha Darwin is particularly proud of. Okay, so... it's a big scene. Sacha's going to be acting his heart out. What could it be? The last big scene that Sacha hinted at was the revelation of the Timeless Child, which has rocked the fandom to this very day. I personally think it's a cool idea, and I can already see some angry middle-aged men commenting, "How dare you!" And to all of you who are doing that, stop. Calm down, it's not that deep. Anyway, the article goes on to say, when the great Terence Dicks first proposed the character of the Master to producer Barry Letts more than half a century ago, he famously sold him as the Moriarty to the Doctor's Holmes. So it's fitting that Sacha's Master and Jodie's Doctor should face each other in their own Reichenbach Falls moment. For those of you who don't know, Reichenbach Falls is that big Sherlock thing. You might have seen it in the BBC TV show. Usually, it's done off a cliff, like Sherlock jumps off a cliff, all drama. Sherlock, in the TV version, jumped off a building. But it's this big revelation, Dr. Moriarty, locked in combat, all of that jazz. I wanted it to be epic and moving, and when I watched the episode myself, I thought, I'm so glad we landed that, Sacha Darwin told Kirkley, because it kind of takes your breath away a bit. So it's always been really easy working with Jodie. I do my thing and she does hers, and it just works. And that's because, even though the characters have so much animosity between them, me and Jodie really adore each other, which actually makes the scenes much more electrifying, and a lot more moving than I thought they would be, especially in the Centenary episode. I watched the episode on my dark and blah 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 blah, he was a blubbering mess. Now, that alone is really, really interesting. It's clearly an emotional scene, so it's probably got something to do with the relationship between the Doctor and the Master. Now, this whole relationship between the Doctor and the Master is an age-old thing. Like, I started work on a video ages ago called The Doctor and the Master, Are They Brothers or Lovers? Because those are the sort of two common dynamics that Doctor Who fans take. Brothers or lovers? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I did have to ask some experts on playing the Master what the dynamic between the Doctor and the Master is. And this is also a perfect segue to promote our Doctor Who fan film, Echo's Return. But I asked a year ago, or over a year ago now, the three actors who played Missy, the Master, and the Master in our film Echo's End, what they thought. In your humble opinion, are the Doctor and the Master brothers, or are they lovers? Like, what's their dynamic like? More like brothers.
Say it in unison.
Or lovers.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Lovers!
You've heard it here first, folks. They are lovers. Getting back a little bit to the whole Reichenbach falls thing, there has been this rumour for ages that Jodie's going to regenerate because she falls off a cliff. And this would harken back and tie into the whole timeless child thing, because if you remember, the first Doctor to regenerate way back in the timeless child, like the big retcon, that kid falls off a cliff and then starts to regenerate at the bottom. Now, in a fantastically poetical sense, what if Jodie Whittaker's Doctor meets her demise by falling off a cliff? Now, you could even theorise that the kid she was playing with on top of the cliff that let her fall off was the Master. Maybe that was a young version of the Master. Maybe that was the Doctor's sibling at the time who is also the Master. Something like that. And then in a poetical sense, Jodie's Doctor meets her demise at the top of a cliff, once again, with her brother, the Master. Something like that could be really, really interesting. To add evidence to this, we have this really, really blurry picture from Doctor Who Production News on Twitter. He's not revealing his source, but yeah, there's Jodie and Yaz, well, Jodie and Mandip, clearly at a cliff top or cliff side in a quarry, filming about, I think, October of last year, which it's really, really interesting because it does add credence to this whole Jodie's going to regenerate there. Maybe she falls off the cliff, regenerates at the bottom, something like that. The whole brother thing, is the Master the Doctor's brother? I do think, I personally would not like that to be a direction the show goes in, because I'd say more, the Doctor and the Master are more like, ooh, lovers, like Missy and 12, there was romance there. Like even John Sim, David Tennant.
Don't you see, all we've got is each other.
Are you asking me out on a date?
Jodie, Sasha, there is this chemistry between the Doctor and the Master that I don't think is a sibling thing, and I really hope that it does not. No. My cast reminds back even further to 2018. Chris Chibnall said that when writing Series 11, he took the show back to the basics. He looked at the original plans for the series and thought, okay, historical episodes, a 4-person TARDIS team, going about the universe, doing educational adventures, like you meet King James, Rosa Parks, all of that jazz in Series 11. And obviously Flux took on a somewhat classic approach, doing a serialised story. Adding even more evidence, Series 12's Timeless Child plot reveal is an original scrapped plan from the original Doctor Who series, where Sylvester McCoy was going to go on this whole thing. Search up the Cartmel master plan if you want to find more out about it. But yeah, Chibnall likes taking original Doctor Who plans and putting them into his work. And originally, back in John Pertwee's era, we were going to have the revelation that the Doctor and the Master are brothers. Which, yeah, that's a controversial thing, and I don't know whether people would warm to it. I certainly, as I say, I don't think that should happen. But knowing Chibnall and knowing that he loves to make a mark on the show and do these big plot twists, knowing that Sasha's talking about this big plot twisty scene, knowing that it's both emotional for him and Jodie and the characters, it does make me wonder, is Chibnall once again referring to the original plans for Doctor Who back in classic era that never managed to happen? Something like that. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. Maybe we are going to get the revelation that the Master is the Doctor's brother. And I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm going to give this theory, I'm saying it's 60% more unlikely to happen than it is. So it's probably not going to happen, and I certainly hope it doesn't happen. But it is just something interesting to think about and discuss. Let me know in the comments down below. Are the Master and the Doctor brothers, or are they lovers? Thank you for watching this video. Please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out our Doctor Who fan film Echo's End, the sequel of which, Echo's Return, is very, very much on the way. Please donate to us on Ko-fi, Ko-fi, whatever the website's called, to help us get the fan film made. But yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.